My name is Alex Dudley, and I'm here today to talk to you about my leadership philosophy, or more so what I've learned from this leadership philosophy class we've taken. And I think I'm on the same page as a lot of other students today when I say that when I saw this course, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I was a little skeptical as to what I was going to learn from it, but I can honestly say that I learned a lot about myself. Not so much about leadership, or that I didn't learn about leadership, but I really, for me, learned a lot about, or became a lot more, I think, introspective about myself, some of my decision-making processes, and that, yeah, just it internalized a lot of kind of thinking and decision-making for me, and I've certainly learned more about myself. So today I'm going to go through and I'm going to explain what my original leadership philosophy was, and then some of the key points from some modules that really kind of helped me get to what my new leadership philosophy is. So my original leadership philosophy was doing, not saying. I believe actions are louder than words. I want to be someone others can trust while being completely open. Being compassionate and a good listener are important, and I believe allows others to trust in you. I plan on being a lifelong learner, whether that be through formal education, other people, or my own mistakes. I think that was a really good starting point for my leadership philosophy, and I certainly wouldn't take anything out of that now, but there are things I certainly want to add to it. So in the very first module, we went through Plato's Philosopher King. I dislike philosophy a lot. I've taken a couple courses in university, and I've read Plato before, and I find it pretty hard to read. So I kind of struggled a little bit with the assignment, but I was able to go through and pick out what I thought Plato's kind of key characteristics of a leader were, and then put that on a forum. And I had wrote in one of those forums, in my own discussion thread, that I felt that being a good learner wasn't important. And I clarified that as to, I thought being a book smart, like a book learner, wasn't that important. And I think someone else mentioned EQ versus IQ, and I kind of sided on, I think being life smart's good, but maybe book smart not that important when it comes to being a leader. And this caused a lot of really mixed opinions on what I had said on my discussion thread. And a lot of people right off the bat were like, no, I totally disagree, being a good learner is important. And my natural reaction, like my gut reaction, was to go on there, defend myself, and be like, hey, this is why I'm right and you're wrong. You know, I've got proof, here are examples. And I held back and I refrained because I didn't think that really fell under etiquette. But you know what, when I look back on it, and even at the time when I kind of reflected on not doing anything, I realized that I always have had this desire to be right. And, you know, for anything, in any situation, it doesn't really matter, I need to be right, and I will argue my opinion, and, you know, I can explain, you know, A, B, C as to why I'm right and you're wrong. And for me, you know, at the end of it, when I went through and I read everyone's posts and everyone's discussion, and even everyone else's comments on my own thread, I realized you don't always have to be right. What's right for you isn't necessarily right for others. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and just what's, like I said, what's right isn't always right for someone else. It's based on your world and your perspective and your experiences. And for me, that was a really good first step in letting go of being right. So that was something pretty important I think I learned about myself from this. Another module that was really struck a chord with me was servant leadership. When I saw the title, I had no idea what to expect. I've never heard of servant leadership before. And when I read the writings and we participated in all the different discussions, I really learned a lot about myself. And for me, that module, I think, really helped shape my new leadership philosophy the most. And there's a quote, or not so much a quote, but there's a piece in there that really hit home with me, and I'm going to read that for you. It's from Lopez's Becoming a Servant Leader, the Personal Development Path. She sets out 6 characteristics of what a good servant leadership are, and a couple of those characteristics really I found were important for me. Those were know self well, holders of a liberating vision, and builders of a community. So when it comes to knowing self well, I think I mentioned this, I don't think I I did know myself well before, but not in the same extent. And this course and these modules really helped me like just be cognizant of the decisions I make and why I make them. And even when it comes to the ethics module, when it came to like, you know, which style, you know, virtue approach versus community approach or common good approach, these were things that I've always done, but I didn't have, I guess, like the knowledge behind as to why I did it. So when it comes to knowing self well, this course really helped me just be like cognizant of why I make the decisions I do. And I've found that it's really helped me kind of make like a blueprint for the future when it comes to when you're in a situation that's tough and you have to make a hard decision. You know, when you know yourself, you can look back at that blueprint and be like, okay, you know, this is what I base my ethics on, and this is what I base, you know, leadership on, and you can go back and make those decisions or kind of guide your path by knowing who you are. So that for me, that was really important, and this class certainly helped me like be able to read my blueprint, I guess, if that makes sense. And so when it comes to holders of a liberating vision and builders of a community, I'm going to tie that into 2 other modules and 2 other quotes that I want to read. So the first module was the one on empowering others, and there Burke states that leaders provide direction with their ideals, vision, and purpose. And then in articulating your vision, Vaughan states, having a vision means pursuing excellence. There is always room for improvement. So those 2 quotes, along with holder of a liberating vision and builder of community, really kind of tied in together for me. And I found that it was like an aha moment where I said, yeah, you know, you have to have a vision or a goal to always be better, you know, to pursue excellence, and you have to, you know, be passionate about that. And that passion for your own goal of being better is what's going to inspire others. It's going to empower others, and that's how you need to lead others. I don't want to be a transactional leader where I'm telling people what to do. I just want to, and this kind of goes back to my original doing, not saying, but it's making an example of yourself, striving to be better, being passionate about that, and that's going to attract others to want to follow you, and your actions are going to guide their actions. And I'm going to give an example of this. I CrossFit, and over the last 5 weeks I competed in the CrossFit Open. And how that was every week they release a new open workout, and you have to do it at your gym, you're judged, you submit your score, and you kind of get ranked against everyone else in the world, really. And they had 2 divisions this year, an RX division, which was to do the workouts as prescribed, or a scaled division, which was an easier version. And my goal right off the bat was to do everything RX. And the first 2 workouts come out, and they're pretty tough, and I do okay. They had some movements I struggled with, but I did them. And the 3rd workout comes out, and it's muscle ups. It's the first workout, is the first movement of the workout. And if you don't know what a muscle up is, Google it. I can't do one. And so a lot of girls were like, oh, I can't do muscle ups. And guys, a lot of people were like, I can't do this. I'm going to do the scaled version. And I said, well, what fun is that? I'm not pushing myself. And that's actually was kind of right around the time where we were reading Articulating Vision and Pursuing Excellence. So I decided that I was going to spend the 14-minute workout trying to get a muscle up. I didn't. I didn't get one. But I tried, and it inspired a lot of people. A lot of people were extremely proud. My coach was really proud of my effort, and I inspired a lot of others to say, hey, you know what? Let's step back. Forget getting the easy score of doing the scaled version. I'm going to do something tough here. I'm going to try this. And a lot of people got their first muscle ups. So that kind of really was my first experience of, hey, I'm pursuing excellence. I'm going for this. I could take the easy route and do really well, or I could get 0, which I did. But you know what? That wasn't failing for me. So I learned that by pursuing excellence, when you're going for broke, failing isn't failure. I think I was more successful by trying and not getting it. So altogether, my leadership philosophy, I wouldn't change what I originally said, but I would add that I want to lead. I want to have a vision of excellence, of pursuing excellence, and be passionate about that vision and inspire others with that vision. So I want to lead by pursuing excellence and inspiring others to do so with me. So I hope that I provided some insight as to what I learned from this course, because I really did learn a lot. So thank you and have a great day.